Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for bearing with us as we were just getting going, and welcome to the CABJ Media Startup Bootcamp Wrap Party. We're so excited to be celebrating the end of what has been a very successful first year for this program, a groundbreaking program for the Canadian Association of Black Journalists. You know, we set out to create a program that supports and helps to launch the digital media startups of Black journalists right across Canada. And with the support of TD Bank Group, we have been able to do just that. So for those of you who have never heard about this program until today, we do have a short video that'll just give you a little bit of insight into what our program participants took part in over a couple of weeks back in November 2020.
The first thing that you are going to want to purchase or should be considering in your purchases is the domain.
You want to make sure that you are growing the traffic and the eyeballs to your site and increasing your online visibility.
And the worst thing you can do is rush into being on every single social media platform without knowing why exactly you're there. That's a surefire way to waste time, energy, and patience. So it really should be a business decision.
What type of business structure do you need? Sole proprietorship, partnership, incorporation, and non-profit?
You must define your niche. You must know exactly.
Having an impressive personal brand will also help you make early appeals to investors and potential partners. Your business idea will seem much more impressive if it's backed by someone who has, a strong social media following or just a strong reputation.
We are so very grateful for the instructors who made this program possible, believing in it when it was just an idea. This program came about in the summer of 2020 in the wake of George Floyd's murder. We wanted to create something that would really move the dial on representation and diversity in this industry. And to be honest, we were inspired by the work of Camille and Roger Dundas over at BuyBlacks.com, and we wanted to build some kind of a program that would help launch more media entrepreneurs just like them. Now, in our work at the CABJ, we quite frequently meet journalists who are frustrated with the situation in their newsroom. They want to be able to tell their own stories without all of the baggage that is so often associated with trying to have those stories told. And also the frustration that they were feeling as they found themselves in spaces that didn't reflect them and in places where they oftentimes didn't feel like they belonged. So this program is about empowering Black journalists to be their own editor-in-chief, giving them the tools, the support, and the funds that they need to support a successful launch. Over the next hour, you'll hear from a lot of the folks who helped to make this program possible, and you'll also hear from the grant recipients. But first, I do want to introduce you to our judges who, over the course of a few weeks in January and February, went over each submission, giving honest feedback and helping us get to where we are at this point now in the program. So first up is Mark Holmes. Mark is a filmmaker, journalist, producer, and currently the creator of Filter 43, a video series dedicated to those in the pursuit of socioeconomic change in their communities. Prior to this endeavor, Holmes acted as community news director and reporter for York Region's first radio station, 105.9 The Region. David Thurton is a national reporter in CBC's Parliamentary Bureau. You see him looking awfully confused there in that live hit photo. He's a mobile journalist, a mojo, and he reports for CBC News online, radio, and television, comfortably gathering stories from his iPhone and laptop. He's worked in 6 Canadian provinces and territories and has spent 2 years reporting from Fort McMurray and Canada's Arctic. He was born in Canada, but grew up in Trinidad and Tobago. David is also one of the board members of the CABJ. Lily Boisson is a senior producer for CBC News Social, where she leads a team of journalists managing Canada's biggest news accounts on social platforms, including YouTube, Snapchat, and Instagram. Lily has worked with journalists from all parts of the CBC to help them reach more viewers and readers. She's passionate about making sure that the public broadcaster reflects all of Canadians in its coverage. Born in Haiti, raised in the Caribbean, Lily is a proud first-generation immigrant who is still figuring out, like so many of us, how to dress for Canadian winters. Welcome to Lily and to all of the judges. Mark, I want to start with you, a question to you, because you know what it's like to branch out on your own, following your passion, producing your own content. As you were reviewing the submissions, what stood out to you about this year's winners?
First of all their proposals were very professional. They checked off a lot of boxes in terms of what you need in a proposal or in a business plan. And you can really tell that a lot of energy and blood, sweat, and tears went into their work and into their craft. And that's something I really appreciated. I also found that they each had a really firm grasp on what's happening in the media landscape as it pertains to the Black community. And in doing so, they really did give a voice to Black and Indigenous voices in their proposals, which I thought was excellent. And also I found that each of them, this is their calling, I found. And you can't do something like this without passion. And I think that their projects are passion fueled. And again, it's something I can relate to by doing my own pieces. And I thought that was really, I find that really, really endearing and motivating for me to see that kind of passion and drive and perseverance and commitment to their work. And one last thing, I think that it's important for us to realize and to kind of celebrate what they're doing, because in some respects, a lot of the work that they're doing hasn't been done before, hasn't been done before to this degree. And I think that's important, because that's how change is going to happen. That's how real change is going to happen within our communities and outside of our communities. So I applaud them for the work that they did and their commitment to it. And I look forward to seeing what each of them do in the very near future.
Thanks so much, Mark. And, as you mentioned, the work that they're doing, like, this is a calling and so necessary really across the country. David, you worked in a number of provinces. Why is it so important to have digital magazines like this in cities right across Canada?
Well, we're everywhere, even in, some of the most northern communities, such as Tuktoyaktuk, a community of like a couple hundred people on the Arctic Ocean, nice views of the Beaufort Sea. There are Black people up there, contributing to Indigenous communities, contributing to what we all believe here in Canada. So, and I don't think that Canadians really know that. I don't think Black people really know that. I know when I started working, in these, I guess, places that many Canadians would never go to, my Black aunt would say, why? How could you authentically be Black if you're not living in Toronto? Where are you going to get the stew chicken, the oxtail, and all that kind of stuff? But the reality is, and the more we have media that reflects our reality, is that you can be Black everywhere. And there's different ways to be Black, and it sounds different, it looks different. And if we have these digital publications, or more just Black journalists in general, we can better reflect that reality.
Lily, we see so much of that reality in the conversation of what it means to be Black on social media. And really in 2020, Black journalists were influencing these conversations on these platforms. What kind of potential exists for these content creators, for these new entrepreneurs as they launch out, if they harness the power of social media?
It's huge, I would say. And you alluded earlier to some of the frustrations that some of them have in the more traditional media structure. And I think that the potential on social is to kind of bypass that and to break free from the the traditional media channels that haven't always done an adequate job of representing us and representing, you know, marginalized people. So if they can have a direct connection with their audience. I think when people think of social, they think a lot of like going viral, like that's what you want, but which is good and necessary sometimes to get attention. But I think the true value in social platforms is actually that more intimate, direct connection that people can have with each other, that content creators can have with the people who consume their content. There's a lot of value in that, in you know, connecting people and hearing them and reflecting them back.
In terms of the support that these individuals are getting, Mark, I remember us having a few conversations, and you mentioned this was the kind of help you wished had been available to you when you were starting out. How tough was it when you were back in the day on your own?
I'm not going to say it was tough. No, I am going to say it was tough. It was tough, but you know, if you want something bad enough, you're going to go out and you're going to do it. Having said that, you know, yeah, if I had something like the CABJ and the Bootcamp, I think I would have been a lot further along at an earlier age, and because it's all about the support. You need that support from your community, and you really need to see that there are others like you who are doing it, and that's something that I really missed when I was in journalism school. I didn't see a lot of Black people who were like me doing the same thing I was doing, and I really questioned, you know, can I do this? Should I do this? Am I in the right profession? And so I really could have used something like that. And I think others in our community could have used something like that too. And I think that what you're doing here is going to be invaluable to everybody who participated for, you know, the rest of their lives in their field.
Lily, do you think this will inspire more folks? You know, as they hear the stories of Jody Lee and of Matthew and of Caleb, do you think that more people will be inspired to launch out on their own?
For sure, 100%. I think it's hugely powerful to see someone who looks like you succeeding at something, and people will see that, and it's like, you know, it's exponential because I'm sure will go on to mentor and help the people who come, you know, and walk in their footsteps. So it's going to be really exciting.
And I guess last question for you, David. You know, I remember as you guys were looking over all the submissions, and the names of these platforms are so unique. Like we got stuck on Julie Mango for a minute. So
it's true.
So,
yeah. My favorite mango.
Can you talk to the folks who are watching just about the uniqueness of these platforms?
Yeah, no. You know what? It definitely pushes what we consider journalism, and so much of it is, you know, what fits in a box, you know, what the government is pushing out, or if there's a hook. We were having this discussion within the CBC about, you know, a story is only a story if you have like a hook, but, you know, just so many of these stories are just, you know, just from applicants are just being, you know what, I don't see myself reflected. I'm just going to be authentic. The things that interest me, if it interests me, I know it's going to interest other people, and I need to put that out there. I felt, I got the sense from a lot of the people who were within the bootcamp, because I need to not only validate what I'm feeling, but with what other people are feeling. So whether that was Afros in the city, whether that was Resolve, whether that was Toned or Julie Mango, like you could see, I see myself in these things, and so, you know, I can't wait to see where these ideas and, you know, where the hard work takes them. Yeah.
Awesome. We really appreciate all the hard work of you three this year. And you need to know I will be coming back at you in in the fall. So you will be getting a call from me. And David is right. There's so much to look forward to, not just with this program, but with all of these graduates that we're celebrating today. So thank you once again to the judges, Mark, David, Lily. Thank you so much. And thanks so much for your time over the last couple of weeks. We really appreciate it. I want to I want to introduce you now to someone else who also had a lot of faith in this program right from the start. Naki Osate reached out to the CABJ to find out how TD Bank Group could support our work. And TD Bank has been so great to work with. As our financial sponsor, this program would have been impossible without their support. Naki is Associate Vice President, Social Impact in Canada for TD Bank Group, and I'm so thrilled that she made the time to join us today. Naki, over to you.
Thank you so much, Nadia. It's really, really special to be here. As I was listening to the judges, it took me back to a conversation I had with my parents when it was time to go to university. And they asked, so what do you want to do? And I said, I want to go to Carleton for journalism. And my Ghanaian dad said, oh, no, you're not doing that. Do you see anybody like you on TV? Don't you know if you try and go into journalism, they'll put you in the bush. They'll make you go to the bush and you'll be doing all this type of work. And from there, I just shut those dreams down. I mean, I eventually went into host my own radio show in university. But if there was this kind of boot camp when I was looking to go to university or when I was looking to pursue that career, what a difference it would make. So for me, in my role at TD, being able to be in a position to support the work that CABJ is doing with the bootcamp, but has been doing for quite a long time across the country, this is a massive opportunity. So I do have just a minute's worth of prepared remarks that I'll share with you. So, first of all, congratulations to CABJ. Congratulations to this cohort of graduates from the Media Startup Bootcamp. Thank you to the judges, to the board of directors who have been working so hard to bring this to fruition. Tonight's event is about celebrating your participation in this incredible platform. I see this as a platform that will really help to change the way that we see ourselves in media across Canada from coast to coast to coast. A special congratulations to today's 5 CABJ Startup Grant recipients supported by TD that will be announced shortly. These grants are going to help equip rising media entrepreneurs to create and operate new platforms. And when you think about that for a second, that's more Black journalists, editors, content creators that can really help shine a light on important issues that matter to all Canadians, that can help drive meaningful change and slowly begin to change the composition of the Canadian media landscape. And so for those reasons and so many more, TD is so proud to be supporting CABJ in this work. And we recognize that we have a responsibility to play in elevating Black voices, because this is how we begin to drive systemic change, especially in issues that are so critical to our lives, like who tells our stories and what stories are they telling? Representation influences changes, not just in terms of who we see on our screens, but also the policies and the practices that can help us in this journey towards dismantling anti-Black racism. I imagine if I saw myself reflected in that way, things would have been a little different. But this is especially important in today's context, where we're in a moment where Black communities across the world are demanding change. So we need media entrepreneurs and journalists like those who have participated in this bootcamp to tell those stories. So again, I just want to thank CABJ for this incredible work, all the incredible work that's been underway, not just with the bootcamp, but all of the work that you've been doing. Nadia, to you and your team, a big congratulations and a huge thank you.
Thank you so much, Naki. Thanks for your support. And once again, for just making the time to be here with us today. We really appreciate it. I want to introduce you now to one of our instructors for the bootcamp. We had 4 exceptional instructors, and without them, this program would not have been possible. But joining me now is Station Naomi Frederick. She has over 20 years of experience in the field of community and program development. She's the founder of Braids for AIDS, a not-for-profit that raises awareness for HIV and AIDS in the African, Caribbean, and Black communities in Canada and internationally through a culturally relevant in practice of hair braiding. She's the executive director of Weston Frontline Center, a youth charity in Toronto, and she's also a consultant providing grant writing workshops and grant coaching sessions for her clients. And she's a professor at Sheridan College. And she did not hesitate when we first reached out to her to ask her if she could be an instructor for the program. So Station, welcome to today's event. And once again, thank you so much for your support.
Thanks so much for having me, and welcome and to everyone here. Thanks for being on this session tonight.
So Station, you taught the students how to glide through the grant writing process. Why is it so important for you personally to share this knowledge within the Black community?
Well, one of the things, and this kind of tracks back to even why I created Braids for AIDS as an organization. Back in 2008, I was working within a white organization that was given money to run an HIV/AIDS program within the Black community. So there is so much resources. And right now, as you see in 2020 with, conversations around George Floyd and, Regis Paquette, because, we do have issues here in our own backyard here in Canada. That there was so much emphasis on Black and Indigenous groups and providing funding. And so you would see that there are these large organizations that are getting funding to run programs within our community. And I think it really sort of looks at having our organizations tap into some of these resources. It's absolutely important that we be at the table in doing that sort of awareness of our needs.
Station, no matter the project, how much of an impact can one grant have for somebody who is starting out?
I can't say that, enough how important it is. So one of the pleasures that I have as our organization, Western Frontline Center, continues to grow, is that so many young people reach out to me to be a trustee for their organization. And, these are sometimes first-time applicants. And it's that ability to, get that head start, to that foot, to just say, I have the resources to do, and it starts building capacity. And from that grant builds another grant. I even was at that point in time in starting Braids for AIDS, where, that first grant was really that true catalyst to build credibility. Because sometimes funding applications ask you, what is your track record in managing grants? And so it's really that step up to building the capacity of an organization.
Why is it so important for organizations to support the work within the Black community through grants?
Well, it again is that, to run programs in community, we need funds, right? This is, just a basic thing that, you need funds to run, organize to the different projects. So it's giving people that chance to put all the things that they have a passion about into fruition. And beyond just the financial piece is that capacity building. So even in supporting some of these organizations that I speak of, it's also sometimes that they may need information about accounting or marketing or program development. So the support is more than just also that sort of grant writing pieces, but it's absolutely important that we have a next sort of generation, and there's a sustainability plan of an organization. And I'll just share that piece in that. Braids for AIDS as an organization, we are still being trusteed by Taibu Health Center, which is the only Black, health center. And the ED said, Station, you must get your charitable status so that you can be what we have been for you. And so that is one of those pieces around that.
So true. So very important. So Station, what last piece of advice would you give to the bootcamp recipients as now they're about to launch out on their own?
Yeah. So, one of the things is don't wait until your grant ends to find other grants. Continue writing different grants to different funders. And, I was doing a training with an organization early on today, in fact, on grant writing piece. And grant writing and fundraising is a basic sort of human interaction. If people showed up at your door and asked you for $5,000, what questions are you going to ask them? What is the need that you need it for? What is the budget? How you're actually going to spend it? What are the program activities that you're going to do? What's the impact that it will have in the community? It's a basic, sort of human interaction, is what I would leave for the grant recipients. And congratulations, on receiving these grants.
Station, thank you so much. Thank you for answering the call when we reached out to you. We really appreciate it and have appreciated your support as an organization ever since we relaunched. So thank you so much. I'm sure we'll be talking soon enough. Okay, now it is time to introduce to you the VIPs at this event today, the 5 recipients of the Startup Grants. First up is Tomi Ajele. Tomi is a writer based in Calgary, Alberta, and has her work published in outlets such as the Huffington Post, CBC, and By Blacks. In her capacity as editor at Afros in the City, Tomi writes about intersectional justice and the Black experience. She is also a co-host of a podcast called Allow Me to Intersect, which explores the nuances around a variety of social issues from an intersectional perspective. Tomi, welcome. Now we have Matthew Demera. Matthew is an award-winning editor and journalist, currently living in Toronto, and is the founder of The Resolve. Most recently, he was the managing editor at Extra, where he drove new and innovative digital-only editorial and engagement strategies, and the acting editor-in-chief at Rabble.ca, where he was leading strategy for an editorial refocusing and relaunch. He is a longtime advocate for the importance and power of social justice and community reporting. Welcome, Matthew. Jody Lee Nembard is an experienced event organizer, consultant, product designer, and creative director. She's also the founder and editor-in-chief of Toned, an online magazine committed to amplifying the stories of Black Canadians at the intersection of race, art, and culture. Toned was birthed out of equal parts necessity and desire to empower, celebrate, and create community through storytelling. Next up, we have Caleb. Caleb Johannes holds an undergraduate degree from the University of Toronto with a specialist in architectural studies and a minor in African studies. Caleb actively works in the cultural production field, best reflected within the arts organization he founded and directs called 1919 Magazine. Outside of the magazine, Caleb leads a number of art and creative direction projects ranging from music and video to academic journals. Caleb's academic and personal interests center the experiences and knowledge of Black communities that continually empower him to pursue the action-oriented community organizing work he is so passionate about. Great to have you, Caleb. And Rachel Osborne is last but not least on the list of winners this year. Rachel Osborne has a passion for connecting, graduating from York University's Communication Studies program and later receiving a postgraduate from Seneca's journalism program. Storytelling has been a central tenet in the projects that she has been involved in. She's been able to take her skills into places like Shopify, CTV, and Jamaica's E-Media Interactive Group to create culturally and geographic specific content and strategies to speak to the needs of her diverse clients and audiences. In January 2021, Rachel launched media platform Julie Mango TV to create a hub for analyzing and promoting Caribbean film and other on-screen productions from the diaspora and region. So I want to say a very special welcome to all of the grant recipients who are here tonight, and also just a big congratulations to each one of you. We're so proud of the work that you are doing. We're so proud of this achievement and are grateful that we have this privilege just to be part of your journey and to celebrate this moment with each one of you. For all of the grant recipients, we have brought back someone who is a familiar face to all of you, Camille Dundas, who is a game-changing media entrepreneur and co-founder of byblacks.com. And she's with us for a commencement speech, if you will. These days, Camille is she's really in such high demand. So we're just so thrilled to have her with us today. So Camille, over to you.
Thank you so much. I can't stay for very long, so it's a very, very short pep talk, I guess, for all of you guys. And it's really great to be back with you guys because I had so much fun on our 2 or 3 classes that we had together. I'm so proud of each of you, and I'm so glad that I've now gotten the chance to publish some of you on Buy Blacks, and I'm putting it out there. If you have stories, if you have ideas, I'm happy to have you get published and have you get paid, most importantly. So, hey, you made it. This boot camp was no joke, right? Congratulations on investing in yourself. You really can never go wrong when you bet on you. You now have a foundation to build your dream on. So I want you to fearlessly create, not with an aim to please everybody, but with an aim to do good, important work, because we need you. Our community needs your voice and needs you to create space for all of our collective voices. But as you're doing that sometimes difficult and important work, it gets heavy. But I want you to remember that the weight of this world is not yours to bear. Find your joy wherever you can. And in those moments when you feel like giving up, I've had many, remember where you came from. Remember your ancestors. Remember Black Canadian heroes like Mary Ann Shadd Carey. She was the first Black woman to publish a newspaper in all of North America, and she couldn't even put her own name on it. You have your name. You have ownership. This is yours. Your story is yours. Your voice is yours, and nobody and nothing can take that from you. To be a creator is a great joy, but it comes with great responsibility. So I want you to commit to excellence every day in all you do. Do good work. I know you will.
Thank you so much, Camille. That's so encouraging. I think on that note, I think we're good to wrap up for this celebration event. I want to thank everybody who's here today. Camille, thank you for those words of encouragement and inspiration. Naki, thank you so much for being here to celebrate with us. Station, thank you for the advice. The last bit of advice as everybody's about to go out and launch on their own. And to the judges, Mark, Lily, and David, we couldn't have done this without you. And of course, to all of the grant recipients, a huge congratulations. I just want you to know that everybody who's been part of this program and all of those who are here on the call today, we're here for you. We're here to support you. We're here for you along your journey. We're here for you if you get stuck. We're here for you if you want to bounce ideas off someone. We're here for you in the good days. We're here for you in the bad days. And since all of us know what it's like sometimes to be the only Black journalist in the newsroom, we want you to know that at any time, if you feel like you need to reach out, if at any time we feel like we need to reach out to you just to check in on you, that we're going to be here to support you all along the way in this journey. A huge congratulations to all of you. Thanks to Jonathan Bloomfield for his technical support tonight, Ahmed Ibrahim for handling all of the marketing surrounding this event. I could not have done this without him, and spearheading the production of that promotional video that you saw, and David Ampofo for bringing that video to life. Thanks again to our financial sponsor, and once again, thanks to all of you grant recipients for being here. That's it. Take good care, everyone. We'll be in touch, and we'll see you the next time we're ready to celebrate some of the success of Black journalists across this country. Bye now.